My name is Veronica. I'm managing the home department at Marzocco, and I think I'm probably the best suited to moderate this panel of these beautiful people, because where we sit as a company is kind of like more and more kind of home user facing. So our department has been growing steadily in the last few years, and we've met kind of cross paths with all these three panelists in like the very different ways that can be quite beneficial for you as home customers or home espresso machine users and that sort of stuff. Now, what I would like to first do, I will ask each and every one of them to kind of shortly introduce themselves to you. Who is left is Radu, so come on, tell us all about you and Coffee Nerdery, which is right on your t-shirt.
Sure. We don't have enough time to learn everything about me, but we'll keep it quick. Yeah. So my name is Radu. Started in the hospitality industry quite a few years ago, and then I went and worked in tech companies for a bunch of years. And then my home espresso journey started during the pandemic. And then it kind of prompted me to start Coffee Nerdery as a discovery platform for coffee. So basically helping coffee nerds discover new coffees from nice roasters. Essentially, the problem that I was solving was a very small one in volume, but the large one for me. I would always find great coffee from the same roasters over and over again. The coffee was always good, but I always felt like I'm missing out, and there's a lot of really good coffee that needs to be discovered. So we're trying to do that with Coffee Nerdery.
Amazing, thank you so much, Radu. Now, whilst I'll still have you, I would love you to talk more about how the Coffee Nerdery came about a bit more. Like, can you talk us through like the details of how it works, what it is? Because some people might assume it's just like a subscription service, but I don't think that's a kind of accurate representation what you guys are doing.
Correct. So most people think that we're a subscription business, and we're not. We're a discovery platform. So the way that it works is we're indexing coffees from a lot of roasters. We're looking at all the attributes, and then as a coffee nerd, you come to Coffee Nerdery, you complete a very short quiz, or a longer one if you're a nerd, and we make the coffee recommendations. We're also working, unsurprisingly, like millions of people these days, on an AI chatbot thingy that would help you improve your coffee game at home. We're not a subscription business. We're essentially just providing a platform to the roasters to have their coffees on a new platform. We don't take a commission. We don't have any inventory. So once you found the coffee that we think is a good fit for you, you go to the roaster and then you buy from the roaster. We're not involved. And then we believe that it will grow into a business once we provide enough value to the community. But for right now, we just focus on growing the community and providing value, and then the community will reward us.
So basically it's something fully digital, right? Like we can find you when we go online, search Coffee Nerdery, and it's something that we can use kind of in our advantage if we want to explore the world of coffee. Yeah.
So one of the reasons we started it was we run a marketing agency, like a small boutique B2B marketing agency. And like I said, I was solving the problem of a sample of one, which was me. But to me, it felt like a good way of using resources that we will not sell to the client. So anytime that we don't sell to customers, we put into Coffee Nerdery, and it's something that we are very passionate about. It's something that we really enjoy, and we feel like it's a productive and enjoyable use of our resources.
What is the biggest barrier you feel like that people are facing, like getting into coffee, or maybe even like improving the quality of what they have at home?
Everyone deserves to drink good coffee, and but they don't always know that, and they don't know how to get it. So I think what was exciting in the UK coffee industry was all of these. In the beginning, there weren't actually that many roasteries.
Kind of thinking we are spoiled for choice, but at the same time, sometimes the choice can be quite intimidating, and that kind of leads me to probably, Radu, you have...
Do you want to guess how many roasteries are roughly in the UK? And I don't know the number today, but I can tell you the number last time we checked.
How much?
I'm not. Well, it's horrible. But is that I was going to throw it up.
Phil, do you have any idea?
Yeah, maybe.
Let's guess a number. Well, I'm going to say
That's very precise.
go through my head and sort of try and count people in this building now, but that looks like you're going to
Last time we checked, there were 800. Because we started by getting the best coffee roasters, and then we were like, okay, there's clearly a lot of them. How do we know who's good, who's bad? So we started from finding them. It's easy to find them. There are directories and everything. So we went into curating them. So how do we validate that these are legitimate roasters with good intentions? We don't judge. We don't, because we wanted to say the best roasters. And then Camilla Morgan said, what's your definition of the best roasters? I don't know.
And I mean, there's so much in there as well because you've got, for it to be specialty, it has to be above a certain grade. So most people wouldn't necessarily know that. But then after you've got good coffee, it's what you do with that coffee, and then it comes down to the skill of the roaster. And then once you've got that good coffee, it comes down to the skill of the barista. So there's just so many nuances.
The home baristas are obviously making coffee in their own homes. So there is less space, like when you go to a coffee shop, baristas meet with other baristas, customers, there is a bit more kind of community physically. And baristas at home, they kind of rely on this community being through forms of any media, social media, and there is a lot of incentives through there in terms of like creating communities. I think it's a unique opportunity, and places like here right now, when we are at London Coffee Festival on Saturday specifically, when we have normal kind of customers that use to make coffee at home, meeting the baristas, meeting the roasters, this is now the physical that kind of is needed, where, you know, like if everything is just online, it kind of loses this sort of community feel as well.
The coffee that you have in a cafe and the coffee that you have at home are completely different experiences to me. Making coffee at home is a very meditative thing for me. I really enjoy the process. I really take my time. I'm obsessed about all the details. I might be a minority here, but it's a form of meditation for me. And then when I go in the coffee shop, I'll enjoy the coffee because I want to try the variety that they offer and the experience and the ambience and everything. So different things, and I don't think that one excludes the other. You go to the coffee shop to nerd out with the baristas and then learn from them. And just try to be a good customer and try to learn as opposed to judge when you go there.
One question I have is, living in London, the filter is particularly terrible and super hot, and like filters generally don't really deal with water hardness. So I was wondering if you had any advice for people who wanted to make better coffee at home and their tap water was kind of bad without necessarily wanting to buy more water because of the whole like plastic waste and environmental concerns.
I do the ashpet water as a temporary measure. Jordan from Assembly Coffee was saying that they actually optimize their coffee for that water because they know that it tastes really well and they can get it anywhere in the country. So I do that as a temporary measure, and I started looking into filtration. You can go into making your own water with what do you call it, the distilled water, and then your third wave and all that kind of stuff. You can go really nerdy. Barista Hustle has some really good recipes for that if you really want to go to town. I started looking into the BWT filtration systems. I've just had a conversation with them. It's still very early days, I don't know, but it feels a little bit more convenient to have the filter on the top if you can do that. So I'm going to be looking at that next.
I just going back to your point about how many roasteries, I don't know in the UK, or Dr. Google, apparently there are 1,121 businesses with the word coffee roaster in their name in the UK. That doesn't necessarily mean active roasters, I guess.
That is insane. Well, I will say, when we started looking into them, we found that a lot of them are not actually real roasters. There would be white labeling companies, people that maybe have a brand and then they outsource all that. So it's actually, there's a lot of noise out there, and it's hard to actually differentiate between the decent ones and the bad ones. And how we do it is like, do they have the right intentions? They might not be like there yet. Maybe they've only been going for 6 months, 8 months. But if they have a few years experience, then they have the right potential, then they might get somewhere. So we want to support that.